To begin my discussion of the preterist viewpoint, I have a little bit of a twist from left field to tell you about. Current theory by many end times teachers assumes that ancient people had as much a fascination for far future events as we do. But what if they didn't? In an earlier social concepts vid, I talked about the different ways that biblical people viewed time. In that vid, I noted that there was a significant difference in the way time was viewed by technological societies and how it was viewed by pre-technological societies. Another aspect of that difference is the time orientation of the biblical world, which was present-centered. Unlike modern people who are future-centered, always planning for the future, biblical peoples concentrated on the present. This was reflected in the teachings of Jesus about not worrying about tomorrow, because today had enough troubles of its own. So maybe you're asking, what's this have to do with a preterist understanding of the New Testament? The answer is that the present orientation of the biblical world makes it highly improbable that any part of biblical prophecy would be concerned with anything beyond the lifetime of the readers or hearers of those materials. Now, an immediately obvious pushback is that there were events predicted, like in the book of Daniel, that were beyond the lifetimes of those present. And even preterists say that past the millennium of Revelation and elsewhere, there are predictions about the resurrection of all people. That's true, but it's also clear that such incidences are fewer and far between, and very short on detail compared to other prophecies. There's also a point that the majority of such prophecy is typological in nature, not actual predictions by past writers of the future. In other words, they represent a use of the text of the past by writers in the present. Rather than reflecting a future orientation by the Old Testament, such usage reflects a past orientation by the New Testament. In light of the present orientation of the biblical world, the typical end times theorist of today will be hard-pressed to explain why the message of passages like the Olivet Discourse ought to be understood primarily as a message about the distant future. The majority of biblical prophecy would be expected to be about a point in the near future, and very little would be expected to be about a distant future. That's just a bit of groundwork. In the near future, we'll be looking at interpretations of key biblical text. See you next time.